Everybody ready? Pretty good? Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming today. My name is Jim Domagalski. I'm the chairman of the Erie County Republican Party, and I'm joined today by Chairman Henry Wojtasek of the Niagara County Republican Party. And we are here today to call on congressional candidate John Powers to disclose the finances and financial activities of his War Kids Relief charity. About 10 days ago, the Buffalo News ran a story detailing Mr. Powers' charitable work and his performance for that charity. But there were many questions that were unanswered by that Buffalo News article. What is clear is that War Kids Relief has been a critical part of John Powers' congressional campaign. He has held it up to the public as a significant achievement in his life. What the Buffalo News article made clear was that Mr. Powers raised somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000 for that charity he created, while taking a salary of approximately $77,000. There are a number of questions that need to be answered in more detail than have been answered. And tomorrow, as is required by the law, Mr. Powers must file a Form 990 with the Internal Revenue Service, which will disclose the financial dealings of that charity. Unfortunately for the public and the voters in this congressional district, that form will not be immediately available to the public. That form will go to the IRS. Since Mr. Powers has himself made this charity a central issue and platform of his campaign and of his alleged qualifications for office, we are calling on him today, Mr. Wojtasek, myself, and the other chairman of this congressional district, to release to the public and to the media the same information on Form 990 that he's going to be filing with the government. And by releasing that information and by talking about it, he can answer several questions. The first question is, how much money was raised by War Kids Relief? Specifically, not generally. The second question would be, how much of that money was allocated to the children in Iraq? The third question is specifically, not generally, not for a news magazine or for a soundbite, but specifically, what programs, if any, did War Kids Relief provide and perform for the children of Iraq? Thirdly, how much salary did Mr. Powers take? And what percentage of what he raised did he take? Did he take benefits from this charity? I know that for a time when he was involved with this charity, he was also in another job. So what was his full compensation from the money he raised from people in Western New York and throughout the county, the country, that is? And then I think, finally, we need to know how much money did War Kids Relief spend on his travel and his lodging? When he would jet out to California and New York City and Boston, places not coincidentally, I believe, where he's raised a lot of money for this congressional race. What were the expenses of all that jet setting across the country? And how much of that jet setting resulted in money for the children of Iraq? And I think it's worth looking at how much may have resulted in money in his campaign coffers. So we don't stand here with the answers today. We don't disrespect Mr. Powers' service to the country as a member of the military, but he has come forward as a candidate for public office with, frankly, not much experience in the public sector or the private sector, and said this was an achievement. And we frankly think that the Buffalo News has begun to show the rest of the community that there may be serious questions as to whether anything was achieved, and we'd like to know from him what was achieved. And I'll turn it over to Henry.
Thanks, Jim. I just want to touch on something that Jim mentioned before. We certainly applaud Mr. Powers for his service in the military. I'm a veteran, but as Jim referred to before, this has nothing to do with his time while I was in service. This happened after he left the military, and these issues have cast a dark cloud over Mr. Powers' candidacy, and the citizens of our community, they definitely deserve the answers that we're asking for here today. The paperwork needs to be disclosed, showing how much money Mr. Powers raised for the War Kids Relief effort, and again, it needs to be made public very soon. He's made leadership by example a slogan of his campaign, and this is an opportunity for him to show that his actions meet his words. One of the centerpieces of his campaign has been this War Kids Relief effort, and again, he needs to show the public where this money came from and how it was spent. We need real answers to reach the truth about his ability to be open and accountable to the public. And we need leaders in Congress who understand how to spend money wisely and responsibly. And again, Mr. Power needs to come clean with the community as to where that money came from and how he spent it.